To the streets of Manhattan. The series is Beauty and the Beast. It centers on Vincent, the gentle beast, and Catherine, the beautiful lawyer he saves and protects. Story is a romantic fantasy about their deeply tender relationship and how it gives them the strength to fight the evils of New York.
I would have done anything. It wasn't courage. It was love.
It had to be. That love steers away from the steamy and seamy, yet Vincent and his beastly looks are turning on the female viewers. A New York Daily News poll found that Vincent is seen as sexier even than Bruce Willis. Vincent really is actor Ron Perlman, and recently Joan spoke with him, and she asked him about that poll.
Well, Vincent is quite an extraordinary individual. He seems to have overcome so many incredible obstacles in terms of who he physically is in the world, that he has risen above most levels of humanity. He's a tremendously generous, giving, and innately just person. And he also has the strength of 10 men, so he's incredibly heroic. But in terms of this relationship that he has with Catherine, I think it might strike on some sort of a fantasy place in the world of lovers, because he gives of himself to her unquestioningly and asks for absolutely nothing in return.
And that seems to really have, something that women viewers really want today and identify with. Also, though, I want to ask you, it is a beast. I mean, this character, 4 hours of makeup every day. And if you look at two of your movie roles, you were in Quest for Fire, the caveman, that was a lot of makeup. And you were, I think it was a deformed monk in Name of the Rose, right?
Right.
Any concern at all on your part that you could be typecast as a quote-unquote monster type by playing all three of these roles?
I think that that kind of concern is sort of, I've thrown it to the wind at this point. The caveman and the deformed monk were incredible extensions and very abstract behavioral exercises for me as an actor. Vincent is a totally different kind of a thing. He's straightforward, he's intelligent, he's a modern-day man, he's articulate, poetic, and very romantic. So there's not, the only thing that draws these three roles together is the heavy makeup.
Well, let me ask you something. If he's the modern-day man and he's romantic, I mean, I guess you have to ask the obvious question, might down the road his relationship with Catherine, who's Linda Hamilton, become less platonic? And how do you think audiences would react to that?
Well, none of us out here who are creating this thing in front of the eyes of America are very sure about how audiences would react to that. We have not ruled anything out, and yet we are sort of being very careful in the biblical sense, as it were, as to exactly where these two people go. We don't want to overstep the bounds of reasonability. I would hasten to add, though, that I think that in large part the success that we're having, my theory is anyway, comes because of the restraint that's involved in the relationship, because of the amount that is not done and the amount that is not acted out. I think that that's a great departure from what people have gotten used to.
Oh, I would have to agree with you. I just have to ask you, you have a daughter who's 4 years old. Has she seen you in your full makeup?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What was her reaction?
Well, at first she was a little bit standoffish to this particular character, but before I allowed her to come down and visit me on the set, I explained to her that this is still another in the long list of Daddy's Halloween escapades, and she seemed to, you have to understand that when she was 1.5 years, she happened to be passing through a room in which Quest for Fire was on TV.
Oh, boy.
And so she sort of like...
So this was child's
vaguely
play.
Reminiscent of somebody I know, and we began explaining to her, that this is what I go do in the morning.
And she said, Dad, what are you going to do when you grow up?
Right.
Gee, it's good to see you. It's really a terrific show, and it's been met with such rave reviews.
Thanks very much.